targeting anyone on team
Are you gaming?
ruGaming. But by the way, have you heard of ruGaming?
I haven't heard a lot from them. I tried to do a bunch of searches, get in contact with them, but I wasn't able to. So I'm hoping they're gonna show their stuff right here. I'm interested to see how good they are and what they have. And we're gonna see a Kog'Maw ban. I kind of like Kog'Maw ban just because for me, I feel that if you get into late game, Kog'Maw as an AD is just so strong. And a really quick Udyr lock in. I know they actually love to play Udyr top or in the jungle. Unstoppable X actually really loves Udyr. I know you are a big fan of Udyr. What do you think of Udyr, Highland?
Uh, Personally, I think Udyr is a really solid lock for first pick. He's really strong late game, especially. I mean, it isn't necessarily a whole lot of farm to get there. Either you can get it from the jungle, especially if you go for fast clearing in Phoenix, and then maybe get some early ganks. It'll help you get there, propel you. Otherwise, if you go top solo, it's a typical farm fest because your sustain is so high. I mean, it's like your Aurelia or one of those high sustain late game carries, and plus he becomes a stun bot. Worst case scenario, let's say you far behind and farm, you can get in there and just stun a bunch of people.
Yeah, and apparently, Chaofan's calling out V8 saying that they banned him because apparently his rank stats with Nivea, he's like the cream of the crop, a Nivea player.
Oh, Chaofan?
Yeah, so Chaofan apparently studly Nivea player, which I admire because I love me some Anivia, and it looks like we had a Troll Nautilus possible pick up there, but they're gonna go with Graves. This is really good because Afromoo loves Graves. They're all about getting Afromoo Graves. Then Muffin QT typically plays support, and they'll give him some aggressive support like a Sona or a Janna, which obviously they banned out Janna themselves. And then they'll just go super aggro bottom, win that way. So no Graves for them.
Well, I'm interested to see the Riven pick. I'm not a big fan of Riven. Personally, I think she just falls off kind of hard in the late game. Now people will say, but Joe, what if Riven scales the best? Everything scales AD. You just get a bunch of Bloodthirster stacks on it. I agree. Don't get me wrong, Riven scales well, but I feel like when it comes down to team fighting aspects of the late game scenario, she kind of falls off. She doesn't bring a whole lot to the game, and that's just my opinion. It's something that you would want out of your top solo or maybe your jungler. Now she is strong early game, so I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, a great Riven player. I admire a lot of great Riven players. She's got mobility, so she's really hard to gank in lane. And coming out of the jungle, she does have some interesting mechanics. She has a short dash, a stun, and I don't know what you want to call her, flippy floppy, but she looks like a fish sometimes.
The flippy floppy indeed. Possible Ari Nautilus are on the board, but V8 picking up Vayne and Nunu again. That's another kind of aggressive bottom lane comp. Vayne can become a very great, good hyper carry going into late game. Has that true damage. Can burst people down even when you think you're safe.
And between Nunu and Lugia, there's some great healing mechanics.
Yes.
Plus she's rocking the cleanse, and when she uses her ult, she's got that ability to go invisible when she tumbles. So really, great for positioning and getting away from the enemy team, and then turning around and just destroying.
Oh, and there we have it. Apparently you're super quiet.
Highwind is super quiet. Well, we might be able to fix that a little bit. We'll put the mic a little bit closer. We'll turn the gain up on the soundboard. We have the technology to fix it. So people, just let me know. I appreciate it, Monty.
Yes, again, shout out to Monte Cristo, part of GG Chronicle, helping put a lot of organization into this tournament, which is sponsored by gaming.stackexchange.com. Great partners with us right now, and a quick lock-in again from Shaco from Unstoppable X. That is typically not a pick you see, either because it's banned or it's very like solo QS. But Shaco, in these competitive games, can put a huge wrench into early game plans. Totally take teams by surprise.
Yeah, extremely gank heavy mobile champion. He is seeing. I don't know if that was quite a nerf or a buff when I was reading those leaked patch notes, but. They did comment about him in the upcoming patch. He will see some changes. They didn't look major, so I don't think much of Shaco is going to go unchanged. He still does get banned quite a bit and lots of play. He's got that early game nightmare. Personally, I think he's something you can deal with, especially if you build a team that's not, hey, so what? We drop a couple kills early. As long as your team prevents that major snowballing, it's not a big deal. Because Shaco's late game really, his real strength is maybe in split pushing and not so much in team fighting.
And there you go. And there's also the Scion pick, which is actually going to be Takashi's actually going to be rocking at mid. A lot of times from V, I actually see Tree Eskimo supporting him. But since with this lineup, obviously you want Udyr top, Tree Eskimo the top player for V80 Sports. So he will be rocking the Udyr, and Takashi will be rocking Scion mid against this Ari, which
No,
could be really good with that bubble shield.
yeah, and honestly, Nautilus, if to quickly talk about it, he's got a really strong passive. Think Udyr's bear stance, where he's got that chance to stun, which is great for knocking Nunu out of
Yeah,
out of his ult, which is also
indeed.
great for killing healing. So it's a really strong ability. He's got a bubble shield, just makes him really kind of tanky innately, and he does have some mobility that you wouldn't expect from a really slow guy with I want to say like a 305 base move speed. The anchor that allows him to pull to terrain as well as
Yes.
create a knockup. And his ult, I believe this depth charge, is a tracking. It just
Yeah.
says, hey, guess what? You're here, you're targeted, and you're gonna get knocked up at some point. So it becomes kind of a real disruption, especially late game.
Yeah, he's really, really good in team. Um, and yeah, it will track you pretty far. It won't follow you, of course, if you teleport to base or something like that. It actually won't follow you all the way to the fountain, which would be really cool. But it doesn't track that far. But I mean, if you're not doing some crazy teleport back to base, it's gonna chase you as far as you're gonna run, which actually gives a lot of range and it knocks up everybody in line. Not much like Jarvan's spear flag combo.
To quickly touch on summoner spells, it looks like both supports are going to be rocking clairvoyance. Nunu is not rocking any sort of escape mechanism other than his blood boil ability. Um,
Run
uh,
for it.
and then Soraka will have the flash, and then she's also got her wish heal and her main heal. Ari highly mobile in the middle lane, whereas you've got Scion, which I believe is actually a stronger pick, at least early in the lane. Scion will actually be able to clear waves before Ari, and he might be able to get out of lane and go pull off some ganks somewhere in. Uh, I'm gonna say he'll probably be rotating into the bot lane if he has the opportunity. Ribbon's gonna be a little bit tougher to gank, but between Shaco and potentially roaming Scion, that's gonna be some scary, scary ganks in the mid game.
Yeah, I think Ari's actually gonna have to really watch out in mid, especially with that stun from Scion and then a quick, like level 2 gank or a red Shaco gank. She has to be really, really careful.
Yeah, and I actually wouldn't be surprised that if Shaco doesn't camp mid lane for like the first 5 levels. Once Ari hits 6, she's a little bit safer. She's got the ult that she can just be mobile. But for now, I would definitely say Ari's going to have to play extremely passive in the beginning. Mainly because Nautilus' early ganks, he does have a semi-strong early gank, but doesn't have a lot of damage there. Whereas Shaco actually provides quite a bit of damage.
And again, I'd like to do a quick shout out to Stack Exchange gaming yeah, gaming.stackexchange.com. Those guys are awesome. Go there. It's a question answer site, and they're actually running a few awesome contests right now. If you go there and post a question or reply to some answers or answer some people's questions, and you have the highest rated question or answer by March 21st, you actually win a gaming console. So you can get a PS3, a Wii, get yourself an Xbox 360 if you don't have one of those. Pick those up just for helping other gamers out. And this is specifically lore-related questions, although they have questions for everything there. You can go ask questions about Mass Effect 3, and all really cool community. They give really really scientific answers, and and they really
Can I
support
ask
that.
how disappointed I'll be when I play the Mass Effect 3 ending? Because I've heard some bad things. I particularly won't spoil
You
anything.
could
I
go ask
haven't
that
played it.
question. I mean, it probably won't be highly rated. How disappointed will I
How
be?
disappointed? You never know. But no, it's a great site. I recommend everybody go out and try it. Even if you want to ask some simple questions, or if you have some actually dedicated questions like, how much damage does Annie's Tibbers auto attack do?
Yeah, it's a good one.
At rank 3 or something. You could probably,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's not a bad place to go to get some of the stats like that.
And here we are in game. VA Esports run up to the front of the fountain before they buy. Get a quick little start there. We have the Heart Seeker Vein in action. The Valentine's Day skin that did come out, and the best skin of all, Nunubot. There he is. Amazing, amazing skin. I actually own that skin myself. I mean, that skin is worth the price of admission. I mean, you buy that skin and you can just listen to him as you walk around and crack up for an entire game of League of Legends.
So we're seeing a lot of things come out of ruGaming. They're probably going to set up to either I don't know if they're going to try and invade and pop some Shaco boxes, or if they're going to protect the Nautilus start. It looks like they're going to play somewhat passive and just get an idea of where Shaco might be starting, so they can expect whether an invade, maybe a counter jungle, or if they'll expect maybe. Looks like we have a disconnect, so we could be seeing a
We
remake.
could be seeing a remake actually right here.
Now, I believe the purple team is unaware of this. Under the new changes.
And, you know, that start by V8 Esports was smart. You really want to protect Shaco. It's very, very important. Eskimo is going to get in. No harm, no foul. So I believe they will continue this game, it looks like.
Yeah, and it looks like you won't miss any sort of the laning phase. So purple can probably be somewhat at ease. They realize, hey, we're not going to be invaded. Plus the CV on Shaco, they pinpointed him at his blue buff. And it looks like we're going to get started here in the early jungle phase without any sort of major action.
No shenanigans here. Gentleman's agreement. Although I don't know if you can really have that with a Shaco on the board because he's not. You know, he doesn't play very fair.
So it looks like all the boxes are down. In about a few seconds, they're gonna get popped. Shaco's gonna start with early blue. Looks like Riven's coming in. Oh, I would be careful.
Interesting timing by Riven. Might try to mess this up. No, she's gonna back out here. Udyr supporting Trieskimo coming down. Goldfather not going to be able to stop that blue. So quick blue from Shaco.
And I do want to quickly point out that purple placed a ward at the red buff. This could come into play if Shaco goes for an early gank or goes for an early red steal.
And it looks like it is going to come into play. This is a very, very smart move for any new teams that are up and coming. This is a very smart use of warding, and they are going to collapse on this. Let's see how Shaco is able to deal with this. The sleeves should be back up, and he's going to have to back out and beat feet. This is great because it will slow down Shaco's jungle. They're going to keep him pull it, so they need to keep going. Oh my gosh. Oh, Nautilus knows what's up. Will he get it low enough and be able to smite it in time, though? That is the question. He will smite it. Now, will he be able to get out of this? Actually, he's going to turn onto Nautilus. Nautilus is going to pop his slow and deceive over the wall. Unstoppable X is safe, and he is able to pick off that red. You have to be careful because that red actually can pull a very long ways and be stolen. And poor Nautilus now. You know, that is kind of the key to dealing with Nautilus early. That's kind of iffy about playing him in competitive games right now is the fact that if you counter him, you know, he's in a lot of trouble, much like in a Mumu. Or other characters of that nature.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he does kind of fall behind and a little hard, but he might be building gold for 10 items, so it won't be too terrible in the long run. I'd like to see his build. This looks like a strong Nautilus player.
And wreck yourself. Looking like he's going to come in here after the stun bubble, although Takachiak should be able to get out of this unharmed. First little stun, burst misses for the most part, and he is safe. Great grab actually right there. Followed up, and he's getting a lot of harassment right now. Like this Nautilus play. Cute little fun fact about Nautilus's hook. Actually, if you kill someone with the hook, it'll actually pull you all the way to their location as if like they were terrain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You can go ask that on gaming.secondexchange.com. Maybe there's the stun. Shaco following this up. Slow from the red buff. Flip-flop away the flash. One more dagger. There's the Shiv. One more stun, and she surely is dead. Unstoppable X really wanted that, but gets the quick stun. Good job.
Yeah, well played
by
by
Goldfather getting out of that.
You know, he had to blow everything. Absolutely everything to get away. Well, except for Ignite. But, you know, between the flash and every ability. But he played extremely well. Did not die in lane. He's going to come back. He's going to have to be a little bit more careful now that he doesn't have flash fall back on. But hopefully he'll pick up a ward. Yep. He did grab a ward, and so he'll have to just gotta be careful with that Shaco. But that is the best way to deal with Shaco. Don't feed Shaco any early kills, and as you move into the late game, you actually have a pretty solid shot at dealing with him.
Yeah, I mean, if you can ward him out and stop him from getting his ganks on and his counter jungling, then yeah, you can definitely nerf his late game, mid game potential, and basically reduce him to a glorified split pusher. And that's the best he can contribute to the team.
Master E status online.
Yeah, exactly. And Udyr and Riven, let's go trade a ton up here. Courtesy stun from Trieskimo up top.
We're about 5-ish minutes in the game. We have seen two gank attempts. One on top lane by V8 and one on mid lane by ruGaming. It looks like kind of just filling each other out. I don't know if these two teams have faced each other before, Again, are you somewhat of an unknown? And V8 has recently qualified for IPL 4, so um, not a bad idea just to kind of feel each other out during the laning phase.
Exactly, much like two heavyweight strikers in MMA bout. They can go out there, feel each other out. Don't want to throw any haymakers too early, make too many mistakes. Well, so far V8 been the most active so far. I feel like and trying to get an early advantage.
We do have a brush gank here.
Face check, great stacking of stuns right there. Triesco was already at half health. And great grab, but he's under turret. Triesco should be safe with that turtle stance. And Udyr, Udyr and Riven both are kind of like a pretty hard get the drop on them.
Yeah, I mean that was a face check brush gank, and managed to get Udyr near half health, and Udyr's sustain's gonna allow him to get back up. It was an excellent layer of CCing, and I think it was a great attempt. It's just Udyr is so difficult to deal with, and it looks like Shaco's gonna make his shot at Riven. Coming over the wall.
Should
No
have been
flash
flash
this
slow.
time.
Yeah, no flash this time. So we'll just see if Goldfather can actually get out of this time. Assault Black's actually going to let him go.
Wow, what an excellent play. Instead of flopping straight back where the Jack in the Box went down, she actually flopped to the side and more of a diagonal that prevented her from getting feared.
Yeah, that actually was a very good move right there.
Now, if we look at the early game CS, now that we're about 7 minutes in the game, now 7 minutes is a key point in any game because that's when the first objective buff is going to respawn. So this is where you can see a lot of counter ganking, a lot of donating of blue buffs to mid lane carries, counter jungling. So it looks like, from my understanding, it's going to be more of a passive affair. We're not going to see any sort of aggressive play. But for any of you new players, especially you junglers and support players that want to get that have been practicing your timings, 7 minutes 15 seconds, always key. Typically if you want to prep for something, you'll send your players back at like 6-ish minutes or 6:30, 6:45. If you want to purchase something and get an advantage. Otherwise, in this situation where no one in mid or bot or mid or top has died, they're not gonna there's not going to be a whole lot of action because no one's going to have one advantage over another.
And one thing I'm noticing actually bot is they have actually done a great job zoning out Soraka. She's only level 4. Afromu's already level 6. So looks like bot lane's getting a little bit of advantage here and pushing the bot taking control of ruGaming's bot lane.
Yeah, and Vayne actually almost 30 CS over Graves. Now granted Graves has been back purchased, but definitely doing a great job CSing in the bot lane by Afromu.
Ari actually sees that with that Baron ward there.
Yeah, definitely. Just noticing his blue pill. And so basically, just say, hey, look, maybe I can prevent this guy from going back. Just give my jungler more time to do red. Give me less fearsome. Both junglers level 5, and as soon as they hit 6, I definitely would see some sort of dragon action. Now, Sion was able to get out of the lane, was thinking about going bot, but decided to turn around, maybe clear this lane one more time.
Yeah, and actually, since Ari is blue pilling, he's actually going to be able to deny her a lot of CS here.
Yeah, at least one creep wave. Nautilus may be able to get here fast enough to absorb some of the experience. Yeah, he should be able to. And now, meanwhile, Sion rotating top.
This could be really, really good. Another stun worked in there. And they actually might have Riven here. Riven does have her flashback, though. Her Broken Wings is down, so she's not actually going to have the escapability that you normally expect. Bubble, there's that burst damage. So first blood going to Tree Eskimo, actually, there with the Tiger Strike. Sneaking it in.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Sion did a lot of the work there.
Yeah. You don't always get the credit.
You know what? My lane, my kill.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So it looks like Nas is going to cover top here. Make sure all that CS doesn't get wasted.
And Tree Eskimo getting first blood and saying, you know what? I'm going to take this time to reconnect, write a book. I believe under any sort of rules, after first blood has been made, you're not allowed to remake the game. So hopefully it's just a quick reconnect. We'll be able to get back in game,
It was
no
last
problem.
time, yeah. Would be good too because we don't want Riven to get too much advantage from that and be able to CS freely. Might want to rotate Shaco up there in the meantime, depending on how long it's going to be.
Now, Shaco has fallen behind in the experience category because Nautilus was able to go into mid and go into top lane. He actually picked up a little bit of extra experience, so he hit 6 before Shaco. You don't think it'll matter a whole lot. Shaco is now actually 7, so he's actually 1 level ahead of Shaco. So assuming Triesco doesn't get back too quickly, these guys might be able to take advantage of this disconnect. Whether it's a gank on bot lane with a potential brush gank coming up, or maybe it's an Ari rotating up, or sorry, Ari rotating, bot lane as well. So looks like we do see a brush gank in bot lane. Cyan's just gonna zone Ribbon out for a second. We do not have knowledge of this. I don't know if we're gonna see a dive or not.
I think dive at this point is a little bit too risky, especially against the combination of Vayne and a Nunu. You put a lot of damage and defend themselves pretty well. Dragon actually might be a good idea because they're naturally going to have that advantage. But there we go. As we speak, speaking of the devil, Triesmo, he's back in. He's going to be running top, being like, all right, what's the deal? What are the myths? And Pinks from Purple actually going down towards Dragon.
Now, if this is a gentleman's game and someone does disconnect, would you take Dragon with some sort of objective although someone was disconnected? Or would you say, you know what, we're just going to wait for this guy to get back. We're just going to lane.
It depends. If it was...
Actually, Ribbon taking a ton of damage in top lane. Sorry to interrupt. Ignite's going to go down.
And chases it down and Hypnotic gazes, but it's not going to work out. And there you go. There you see it right there. Pulls all the way.
I can't believe you did this.
There you go.
And it happened.
So that now you know. The one thing it does not do, though, is it does not actually reset the cooldown like when you grab a train.
Okay. Well, we do have Udyr coming in. I don't think he's going to be able to flash around.
So Takashi X getting a little bit too aggressive there. Happens to the best of us. And there is the Nunu ult. It's going to take a ton of damage out of Chaofan and Godlike, but it's not going to do enough. And a double kill bottom now for RU Gaming. So RU Gaming coming on strong now. Just evening up the gold, actually, after all that.
Yeah, it looks like Ribbons and Nautilus tried to put some damage on Udyr. He got really low up top. And it looks like they're still hanging around that top turret a little bit. Yeah, Udyr down about 20%. Ribbon going to eat another Ignite, not going to go down. And I like this ward placement here by Nautilus.
Is very, very ward placement. It's we're nearing like a minute away from 14 minutes, which could be the two.
Yeah, actually, 13,
when it was
13
taken.
is usually that key, and
Yeah.
it just spawned. So what Nautilus may do is, well, they know he's in this area, but what Nautilus may do is just rotate it and go for a smite steal. It really depends on where the positioning of Sion is this time, and there's a ton of damage going down on Ari.
I mean, Sion, one of the best burst casters in the game, actually, right there. You saw she loses half her life for getting stunned. I mean, that kind of stuff gets really, really annoying in a lane if you can't deal with it. And Shaco's actually going to steal this blue, so great invade. He isn't. Azovalex doesn't need wards. He's good. He just goes in there. He knows the timing. So good job on him. Looks like Nunu's rotating down towards Dragon. They got their pink ward. We'll be able to clear this out.
Yeah, excellent. The best way to regain map control outside of stealing your opponent's blue buff without a ward is to drop that vision ward and clear that dragon timer. Clear that dragon ward. So they're gonna zone out Nunu a little bit. Shaco's safe. There's nothing they can really do here. He can just deceive over the wall. Looks like I think we got Riven and Udyr still battling out of top, so I don't think we're gonna have to worry about those guys so much. Those guys might get a little bit of aggression, but we're gonna see what looks like to be a 4v3 near Dragon.
Sion probably will rotate down into this if they do engage on this. I don't know if this is the best choice for RU Gaming. They must feel that they have an advantage and can do it, or just want to try to bait something in here. This is they're going to back off, which would be the smart way to go. Muffin Cutie backing out of the Nautilus aggro. And Shaco is all over Godlike. Godlike in a lot of trouble here. Death Charge was used already and didn't have a lot of effect. And now condemned against the wall. Wreck Yourself might go down here. one more, and he will fall to Afromu. That true damage so good, and Muffin Cutie wants to push this, so he's going to use his ult to actually clear those minions.
Yeah, Afromu picking up the double kill is going to definitely go a long way into... Wow.
Ari thinks she's being cute here, but lo and behold, they know exactly where she is.
Yeah, she's giving a lot of trouble here because Scion's gonna rotate around. I don't know if Scion.
That was actually a great ult to save herself from getting put against the wall and probably dying. Chafon using her ult just for fun, but here comes, around the end, great charm in anticipation, but the ignite goes down. Chafon, I'm sorry, buddy. There's no escape from that, and V8's going to pick up a dragon. So right now, V8 coming back strong, realizing, they were down a little bit, made a few mistakes, and coming back with a dragon, 3 kills.
Yeah, excellent, excellent play here, especially from just in that skirmish where they were able to quickly pick off Graves, followed up by picking up Nautilus, and then turn around, grab Dragon, and Scion just saying, you know what, Ari, I still do a lot more damage than you right now. Plus her ult was burned by that skirmish near Dragon.
And Scion doing a little counter jungling here. He can actually blow this up really, really quickly with his shield. Don't know if he's actually going to be able to tear it down. Riven actually coming in there checking. Did she not see that? I guess she's going to be blissfully unaware.
Yeah, we didn't see any pings going down.
Yeah. Yeah, so she did actually not notice that. Again, the vision there in the jungle is, pretty short.
Well, he will traverse that ward, so we're going to see that they does have double buff. And she's about to eat another burst combo.
Yep. That charm will slow that bubble down, but it's still going to reach you. Sometimes I wish the charm, like you could control which direction the charm's sent. I mean, obviously it's alluring, so they're going to come towards you. But I kind of wish, sometimes when you're running away from someone and you hit them with it, even though it slows them down, they're still coming towards you. Like, I wish they would just go away from me. That's what I really want. And Nautilus coming in from behind here.
Looks like they just maybe wanted to
scare him off, yeah. Keep the pressure off.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they had any knowledge of
ggClassic unstoppable. Actually, want to go in for this. The bubble will go down to the turret, though. Deceive over the wall towards Wraiths.
I know we just missed a kill on bot lane, but we want to see what's going to go down here. Looks like Shako.
There we go. Clones up. Ari trying to run out of this. Third reception orb back in here. Shako to start to run for this, but great burst damage from Scion, but no one's going to go down. And all that damage. And now they're all on to Godlike. Slow being procced from Nunu. True damage coming in. Look at that attack speed combined with the Blood Boil.
Yeah, it is. Aftermove picking up another double kill. Vayne, Vayne definitely one of those carries you don't want to get kills or a bunch of farm. And right now, looking like he's got about a 50 CS lead and 2 kills over the enemy Graves. She's actually finished Bloodthirster, and I'm curious to see what she's going to pick up next. I wouldn't be surprised if it's early Phantom Dancer. She does have that early Zeal. She might actually want to consider building into Mage Breather or IE, those typical ranged carry AD items.
Yeah, and actually, Buffy Cutie and Afro be playing bottom like they've already killed this turret. And they can pick it off whenever they feel like it is past 15 minutes. We saw a top and bottom fall for ruGaming. So now they are on the back foot. Their jungle is going to be invaded non-stop. And again, this is always a bad sign when you have any amount of characters. And there we go. Wreck Yourself being caught in there is going to get blown up after getting the last hit.
Yeah, just these guys are playing. Like, I don't know how the best way to say it, but it's kind of like that on that edge where you know exactly where your enemy is. You can position yourself to take advantage of those, whether it's a low health turret, whether it's their blue buffs. It's just a really smart play for how for V8's doing. They're just positioning really well as a team, not just, hey, this is a team fight and my character should be out of position. It's that, hey, I have the map awareness to know where the enemy team is, and we can place ourselves to best take advantage and pick someone off in transition. So
yeah,
extremely smart. And it looks like
Riven actually getting a kill top, a good trade there. And there is some rays of sunshine here for ruGaming. They are not down and out quite yet.
And
but that Shiv, Shako on the hunt. Exhaust might pick it up. Great stun there. Will she escape? I think she might. Will we see the deceive after Shiv goes down? Heal comes in from Soraka. And she will escape. Great job there. Great team awareness.
I want to say that Riven has eaten about 4 or 5 ignites and gotten away from slightly less.
And Shaco's not going to eat an ignite, and Unstoppable X is going to have to back out of this. Blue pills for everyone. ggClassic X, though, they're going to keep rolling this. I think if ruGaming actually can get this a little bit later on in the game, Vayne knows this great hyper carry, but Sion will start to fall off the later they get. So that might be a little bit of a good sign for them going forward.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not over. They're gonna want to, Riven's gonna be kind of disruption here. You've got Nautilus that's a disruption, but I think what they're missing is a lot of damage. So it's really gonna come down to Graves being able to carry. I don't know if that's what's gonna happen here because
Oh, and
Graves is
this
being
bubble is
pressured.
going to be trouble right here. Gulfire does not want to eat that one.
And
I
that's
just
it.
in that chase, right there, the main problem was that you had 3 people chasing 2 people, and they were running away, but the fact is they don't really have any damage between all of them. Soraka and Nautilus aren't going to put out a lot of damage. Riven, that's not going to put out a lot of damage against that.
Yeah, a lot of times you want to run Soraka in like a poke comp, whether it's Ashe or another good, Kog'Maw. I mean, you might not run Soraka with Kog'Maw because Kog'Maw likes heals like Xana.
Or like an anti-poke comp to
Yeah.
heal up the poke. Yeah.
But Soraka's strong for poke comps because if you can poke the enemy team and then use her heals to sustain.
And Trieskimo in a little bit of trouble here. Gulfire trying to, but he's going to bear stance. He's going to be like, yeah, Mach 10,
Like
I'm
VA
out.
or Aframu picking up another kill and it's gonna go down for troubles, but was able to pick up one more kill behind enemy turrets again.
Behind enemy lines. Apparently, that's like his
So
little mission objective.
Yeah, how
This
many kills
game.
can I get behind
Yeah.
enemy turret?
Check. Mark it off on my computer.
It's a challenge.
Challenge accepted. And look at that timing. That's pretty good timing.
That was
He's like,
actually really good.
he's like, yeah, it's gonna be up now. Look how cool I am. Unstoppable X. That clock, running on all cylinders. I mean, that's one thing I've noticed about VA Esports. What's been so impressive to me watching them is how in sync they are. Like roaming around, controlling jungle and buffs and stuff like that. Definitely one of the best teams that I've seen at it.
Yeah, it's very M5-esque.
Yes, if you will.
Maybe a little less aggression, so maybe they just have more finesse. They don't do
Yeah.
it with brute force. They do it with style and Shaco and Sion.
Yeah. Getting in there. But then you saw in the earlier engagements with Sion, if you can blow up his bubble, it takes away like all his damage, and he's really hung out to dry if you can get through the bubble.
Yeah, he's kind of like a burst caster that's only got one step. He's like, hey, I stun and I blow up my bubble, and that's it. Like sometimes you get Annie who's got Tibbers, but for Sion it's kind of it's a one-trick pony. And I'm not gonna lie, that trick is a really
It's
cool
a pretty good trick.
But right now, Baron is still in contention, so Baron can change the game. A Baron steal or even somehow getting right now, Vayne's out somewhat out of position for Baron. Not that ruGaming is in position to take Baron, but if they were able to get Baron, Baron allows you to not only get that global gold and experience and that Baron buff, it definitely allows you to pick up like those outer turrets. It does help you get back in the game. I would want to keep that like under the radar. If you definitely don't want the enemy team to get it because they've already snowballed. You're just adding more to it.
And you can tell they're definitely keeping an eye on it. They are the only ones with a ward actually on Baron. V8 doesn't have a ward on Baron. Well, they have a lot of pressure in the other lanes. Vayne trying to bait out some aggression here. Meanwhile, V8 coming
really
around
low.
behind, and that turret will fall. Now they're all going to actually engage onto Vayne. Vayne will go down first. Heals, and there's the Absolute Zero coming in. And it will blow up Godlike in a lot of trouble. Ari's still alive, though. Her ult is gone. Sion up on to Riven and Nautilus. And now we have the little engage here. Look at that Tiger just absolutely tear through Ari right there.
Takashi, was able to. Is he gonna get out of here?
He is gonna get out of this.
There's a flash stove, but they're not gonna have enough damage to pick
And
him
that
up.
bubble actually gonna take a lot of health away from
careful.
Riven. Follow up stuns, and now Wreck Yourself getting caught down here.
And
And he will
we're
fall.
Gonna see, not quite the ace, but Soraka, who did respawn, not gonna even be able to stop this. They're gonna pick up that blue buff. They're gonna grab this. I'm not actually gonna get this turret. Takashi might back up. He's gonna look at the death board and he's gonna see, oh well, Graves is back up. But here comes the blood boil from Nunu, and these guys are just gonna back up. But they've managed to get that turret to almost half health.
Yeah, which is really, really good. That's one of the key objectives. May see them come back to that later on as their first pushing tower. As you're trying to poke in against a team that's trying to turtle down when they're behind, getting turrets low like that is really, really helpful. And then it's kind of systematic because once you get the first turret, you go hit with an advantage, and once you've done that first hit, it opens up everything else because they have to shade attention over there because that lane's naturally going to push with those super minions.
Now, V8, I just want to quickly point out we haven't talked a whole lot about their builds and the player style, but in terms of farming mechanics, you can see it. They have a massive advantage in terms of creep stats. Soren actually has about 275 creep stats. No one on the other team has more than 175, so he's just doing really good. It's kind of that ability. Actually, we have a team fight going down here now, so I'm gonna let you talk about this calendar.
Lots of Tridim going on to Riven. Dem early on and an ult to actually hide. Now she's in the brush. Lost a little bit of vision. She's going to turn over to Soraka. Soraka's going to fall. And Aframu, who was originally the target they thought was going to down, is actually going to get out of this alive. And now he's on the hunt here. Going on to Godlike. Godlike is going to pick up a kill, but he will fall. A little bit of slow going on to Ari. And Shaco killing Godlike there. And,
So yeah, with this, looks like we're gonna see a 4-for-1, and this turret's gonna go down.
And Takashi, meanwhile, doing work, heads up play right there. He's gonna take down a hip for this too. I don't think Ari's actually gonna be able to do anything about this.
Yeah, he's gonna grab this inhib. He's actually probably gonna scare her away.
Hiding the inhib right there, as you saw, rotating around.
So he's actually gonna run out of here. They've got the inhib down. Udir's actually pushing top. They've got almost all lanes pushed. I would like to see these guys, if this were StarCraft, you would probably just peel back, get even more ahead.
The Artos is saying, when you're ahead, get more ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, right now, Baron's, somewhat of a safe bet for these guys. Takashi was able to get back. Aframu was able to actually respawn. They're going to shop. They're just going to meet up at Baron, and they don't actually have to take Baron. Looks like Riven caught Udyr. Looks like Tree Eskimo, a little bit of trouble.
Just misses that charm by a pixel, but Chaofun's going to pick that up, and maybe this might be the time.
Yeah, this might be their opportunity to actually take Baron.
They are all around there. They're going to clear out the ward. Will they do it, though? That is the question. 4 members are up now. I think they will collapse on this quick enough. Gray's not in there putting down the initial damage. And Aframu is actually pushing mid really, really hard while it's going on. So we might just see a stall tactic actually from V8 here. Maybe they'll skip blue. There we go. They do know it is up. Deceive, smite, steal.
Oh, I'm a big...
You're having flashbacks? You're having nom-like flashbacks? Yeah. There it is. They're going, will we see the steal? We do not see the steal. Instead, Absolute Zero going down, not going to pick up anything. And V8's actually going to fall here. Aframu's going to pick up an inhibitor for this, though.
Yeah.
So that will be the trade.
Yeah, they were able to keep them back far long and keep them. They did get Baron, but they were able to keep them from going back long enough for Aframu to pick up that mid inhib. And actually, it looks like if we key in real quick, Takashi was able to run in and keep 3 more from backing, and he actually might get out of this fight alive.
Yeah, if he could have kept 5, it would have been amazing. Really wants that kill into Ari, but he's not going to get it. Using that lifesteal to stay in the fact, Godlike just
like,
you see his.
Looks like.
Oh. And Aframu has this hyper carry in effect. And Udyr is on the hunt, picking up Ari, and now chasing down Godlike. And they're just so far ahead. I think they realized that. They were like, if I can stop these 3 people, the 2 people that made it back won't be able to stop Aframu. He's entered hyper carry stats, and now he's on the hunt for Soraka. Soraka instantly flashes, loses half her health in a single arrow. Oh, this is disgusting. Now, Nexus turret already down. And this is probably going to be game 1 now.
In favor of V8, definitely. I think he's going to skip the triple racks. He's just going to say, oh, no. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish off this 3rd inhibitor just to guarantee the win. And then they're going to pop the Nexus real quick. So V8 playing really smart. They were behind for a little bit in the game. They managed to turn that around once Tree Eskimo got back in the game.
There's a massive huge engagement here. I don't know if it's going to matter. Extending the game a little bit. Udyr focusing on that Nexus. And there you have it. V8 taking game 1.
Over ruGaming.
Over ruGaming, yes. And ruGaming, they actually looked pretty good early. Had some good advantages.
Yeah, actually they played really smart. I don't think they made any major mistakes in the beginning. Riven was playing really well up top. Avoided that first gank. And actually, I think she avoided 2 straight ganks. And there were several times I watched her get away and, with just... like no health and like Ignite just ticked off. So, definitely pulled a lot of resources out of the enemy team. So I think we're gonna jump into game 2 here in a second. I'm gonna run TV Chronicle advertisements here. By the way, please shout out to gaming.stackexchange.com, providing us with all the resources to run. Well, providing us with the sponsoring this tournament and giving TV Chronicle Monte Cristo the opportunity to organize a lot of what's going on here.
Yes, indeed. And here's some music from Area of Defect.